Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Tender. This is the weekend edition of the market analysis. We're going to go through SPX on monthly all the way down to the 65. We have timing that came in on Friday and here coming up on Tuesday. All sorts of good stuff. You see the market today is pretty hectic, and we'll see that a little bit later on in the video. Everything's up. VIX is up. The VIX of the volatility of the NASDAQ is up. So pretty crazy times. And that should end pretty soon here with the ending diagonal that we are at resistance at right now. So this becomes a very important video to see where we go from this point. All right. So SPX, by the way, we're doing this intraday about 12:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube supporter. It comes with the Discord and trade alerts. We put on some trades today on some new puts for the market. We're at an objective short as we speak. All right, so starting off with the monthly time frame, we're looking at the 1929 trend line to the 2000, all the way up to where we are now, 2008, 2022, all in confluence here now. We're holding above it, right? We're breaking out. You got to see this hold if this is going to continue to just move much higher from this point. Okay, so so far, bullish stance, nice monthly candles here. Everything's green, right? Well, when we get down to lower time frames, you'll kind of see what's really happening, and we're at resistance right at this point. So with the moving averages, 8, we're trending up. The 20 simple, so that's the 8 EMA. So the trend is still up on the monthly time frame. The 20 simple, the trend is up as well. Nothing to see here. DMARC. We always like to check back on this. It doesn't change very often, obviously, in the monthly time frame. We're at a 4 count to the upside so far. Nothing to see here. And our setup here with the so far divergence is still in place here. We'll see if we have some sort of double top for the MACD. We have that negative divergence on the we're diverging on the histogram, and we're getting into well overbought territory on the RSI. And in the near term, what we're going to try to find out after we have a pullback, is this the very top, or do we have a wave 4 down and then we get a divergence here for a wave 5? So we'll keep an eye on that. Starting to get really near this crossover on the slow stoke. We'll keep an eye on that. Let's go to the weekly. On the weekly time frame. All right, again, price is just holding on. There's that trend line from 2008 and held on to that with that one red bar there, and nothing but green ever since. So let's see if this move is petering out. We're looking for some sort of ending right here. No pun intended, but that created an ending diagonal. So we'll see if we're topping out yet. All right, there's your 8 EMA, held on to the 8 EMA the whole way. There's your 20, so the momentum's up, trend is up. And DMARC at a 7 count. Do we get a couple more weeks for a 9 count? We shall see. No setup yet. Again, this MACD, we're diverging on the histogram. So that just means that the lines are coming together a little bit closer. So we're getting closer to a crossover. We're not there yet. We're in overbought conditions at 84 right now. All right. And then slow stoke, we're still rising there. So we want to see if that curls down. And yeah, I believe so. Yeah, we're still curled up there. All right. So still momentum's to the upside. And we'll go to the daily. We'll check out the summation index, and then we'll move on to our regular analysis. So there's your summation. As price is going higher, you have breadth lowering. Okay, we're just not strengthening. I know you want to see more of IWM. You want to see more of the big tech stocks holding this thing up, but everything's pretty much being masked by Tesla. And I know that the other big tech stocks are green, but just not enough to keep this sustainable. And then here's your ending diagonal right here. From peak to peak, right there, we are at the top as we speak. Okay, let me pause it, change this. Okay, so looking at a naked chart, you can see we just have a green candle right there, possible reversal candle off that red. We'll see how the day ends here. If you put on the trend indicator, everything's green, looking good. If you would have bought it right here, then you would have continued to make money into today. We're at resistance. Be careful. Moving averages, momentum's up, trend is up. Call an oscillator. All right, let's bring on the traditional look here. Again, not strong, not getting overbought. It's pretty weak with price action going higher. All right, into resistance. MACD, after this nice breakout right there, have your lower high from here to here. MACD, you want to see that cross back over for a red histogram. Other than that, it's just sideways to lower. And again, the slow stoke's still heading up, so shouldn't see anything happen real significant today. But we're waiting on FOMC anyway. So and I know that you guys see this all over, the sell the news into FOMC. Doesn't have to. We can break out. But, with indicators as such and everything working out the way it is, that's probably going to end up true as a sell the news event going into Wednesday. Now, it can reverse before that and possibly get a bounce from FOMC and then drop, but we'll have to see what price action gives us. DMARC, this is one of our setups here. So we're at the 8 count. Going into tomorrow, we'll have a 9 count. So we'll see if that gives us a reversal. And then NDX, QQQ, they have their 9 count going into Wednesday for an exhaust situation. Now, let's go to SPY. Money flow index. Let's put on our divergences. And we're in that overbought territory. We were already there. Let's see if we maybe diverge coming up here on the close for tomorrow when we take a look at it tomorrow. So we do this each and every day. Go ahead and hit that notification bell if you want to get these videos, notify when we put them out. Bollinger Band, clearly in a sell situation. It's pushing higher, but that is nevertheless a sell on this setup. And the L8 oscillator, once again, like I said, it's strengthening, making new peaks here. That's what you want to see if you're bullish. And then obviously continue higher. Still a divergence, but again, it's not stopping price. It's going up higher. We want to see that going to the red if you're bear. So let's check out the VIX. The VIX is clearly strong right now. So here's the big question. So did we bottom on Friday? We were in that period. We're still in the period of a dominant cycle low. So that could be in if we get some sort of FOMC shenanigans where we gap up and go higher. Sure, we still have a ideal low coming in tomorrow. So does that just break down and head into a new low? So far, we're higher low. So this is bullish until proven otherwise. And then if you put on the moving averages, clearly we're fighting with that 8 and the 20. You want to see this continue higher and break out from this wedge. So this bullish falling wedge here, it is a setup. It's getting tighter. But is this the time or is it next time? We'll see. And just a quick look at MJ. I don't need this here. All right, so it broke down from this point here, but really all we're doing is forming a bullish falling wedge. And I know we have some divergences there as well. So looking good. We're back into the wave 4 of the previous degree, a lower degree. And so we want to see this get a reversal. I'm looking pretty good for today, but after a breakout here, you could see a back test. So in other words, you could see some bottoming effects here, and then looking for a setup to the upside. This is a setup in itself, but you could wait for some sort of inverse, head and shoulder or some other. We do have a setup for members where we have certain levels that you get on top you can play into or on top of. And if we're going to do this one, you got to look at MSauce. And same thing. We talked about this this one having potential to go lower, and it did, but it's moving right into the buy zone that we were talking about. And so it still looks, very similar to MJ, but clearly it should make it to this gap, hold the gap, or close it. I think it's going to hold it, but we shall see. And the reason is because it's the 382 fib retracement. All right, so there's your setup, your bullish falling wedge. Let's go to SPY on the 65. See if we see anything different. So there's what we're counting this as on some of the other indices like SMH. We're looking at this, counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why I have the 4 down there. 4, and then the last move up here, wave 5. On the SMH, we're counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so a little bit different, but they do come into sync there. And again, looking at, let's say, the traditional look, we're right there, right at the top. If you put from wick to wick, we could have some room. Now, SPX is different. We're at that trend line right now. It's a CAS index. I love charting the SPX better because it is a little bit more precise. It doesn't have the dividend skew or like ES where you have the contract change, which is this week. So expect wild price action for this week, being quadruple witching. All right, so here's your trend. Trend is green, but we're at resistance. And I can give you a look at that just so you can see. Here's SPX. From top to top to top. I need to adjust it just a little bit. Right there. So top to top. And we're right at right now. And whatever, if SPY needs to go up there to tag, then this is going to throw over a little bit. There's no rules against all that. I'll add another trend line here for the very near term trend. SPY. Trend is up. Moving averages. Clearly, you're going to say the same thing. Momentum's up. Trend is up. getting a little bit higher here. Let's see where we stand. Still a divergence, but clearly in the near term, we're getting right to where all the peaks have been rejecting it. So peak, peak, probably peak. And with this new movement here, you have the negative divergence each high right now. All right, and price action is getting really tight here. Let's see when this rolls over. So far, we're still in a very strong position. DMARC. And we're at an 8 count, 1, 2, 3. Nothing, no setup here. Money flow starting to diverge. Distribution. Bollinger Band, not quite there yet. Could go a little bit higher. Consolidating here, could go just a tad bit higher, which would throw over on the SPX. An Elliott oscillator. So this is in the near term what we wanted to see. This is what we talked about on Friday. All right, so we had this new peak here. We're still diverging from higher peaks in the past, but in this very near term, on the RSI, now here on the Elliott oscillator, we want to see lower highs, and that's what we're getting. We're near or at a reversal right now. All right, and that's your wave 3 into wave 5. The VIX. And the VIX had a breakout today. So it's breaking out from the wedge. This could just continue higher, but we have to be aware that here was our wedge bottom right here. We have to be aware that price could come back to a back test. That happens very often, breakout to back test. But right now, if you guys don't understand, with VIXpiration coming up on Wednesday, and this happens for all the futures contracts, they want to converge back with their cash product here. So VIX is, and it can go opposite, but VIX is rising 1542. It's rising to the VIX futures. So it could have been the opposite. The VIX futures could have dropped into the VIX, and this could have been lower. But obviously, you see what's happening. I think that's a very bearish sign for the market, but that's what's happening. It's converging. It doesn't necessarily mean that risk is on today. So we want to see Wednesday. It should release the VIX from this kind of converging situation, and you're going to see a neutron contract roll out there. And little by little over time, those will converge once again, going into the next expiration. All right, that's what we got, you guys. We're looking at Tesla. We'll be looking for any pullback, probably hedge to the upside with any pullback in Tesla. If this thing is going to go higher, you're going to see Tesla just rip with it. So, okay, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for subscribing and liking.